Okay, so this is section 7.3, applications of quadratic equations. We're going to start off with something that we had before in a previous section, which is right triangles and the Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to have some examples of that in this section. So first, definition: a right triangle is a triangle with one interior angle that's 90 degrees. 90 degrees is a right angle, hence the name right triangle. I have a picture here. The little square right there indicates that that's 90 degrees. And the two sides next to the square, we say they're adjacent to the 90 degree angle, are called legs. And the side opposite the 90 degree angles over here is called the hypotenuse. Okay. I'm going to label those two angles that aren't 90 degrees, A and B. And notice that those two angles have to add up to 90 degrees. Why? Because the three interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. 90 of it was taken up by the right triangle, so that leaves another 90 degrees. So we have A plus B is 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to draw this other picture just so it's not cluttered with this leg, hypotenuse names. And I labeled sides A, B, and C. This is pretty common to label the two legs A and B and the hypotenuse C, but not necessary. You could label them anything at all, and we often do. Usually, though, if you're using A, B, and C, usually you make the capital C the 90 degrees and the smaller two angles A and B. And then notice that the side labeled with the little c is opposite the angle capital C, and the side little b is opposite the angle capital B, and similarly the side little a is opposite the angle capital A. That's just a standard way of labeling things, but of course you could label them any way you want, really, as long as you don't use the same label twice. Okay, so the Pythagorean theorem says in a right triangle, only a right triangles, not other triangles, the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs equals the square of the length of the hypotenuse. Sometimes people say this little kind of shorthand. They'll say, the square of the two legs, the sum of the square of the two legs equals the square of the hypotenuse. They mean the length is just sort of implied in there. Okay, and this means if we use these labels that I have on this particular triangle, it comes out with this a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay,